Good morning, dear students. This is your Sudha ma'am. Welcome to the second session of third lesson, that is transportation, the circulatory system. In our first session of lesson 3, we studied about introduction to circulatory system, structure of heart and the pathway of blood in the heart. Today, we are going to study about blood vessels and blood, which are also the important aspects of our circulatory system. Let's start our topic, blood vessels. There are two types of blood vessels called arteries and veins. Let us study about arteries. These are the blood vessels which carry away blood from heart to the body parts. Except pulmonary artery, all other arteries carry pure blood, that is oxygen rich blood or oxygenated blood. Only the pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs. Already we studied this. Arteries have thick, strong and elastic walls which can withstand the pressure of blood without bursting. As they are carrying blood from heart to other parts, the blood flows in the arteries with much pressure. So, the walls of the arteries are thick to withstand the pressure of the blood without bursting. And the lumen means the internal space is small. Inside place is smaller in arteries. And the arteries, these two features help the arteries to carry the blood from heart to tips of the toes. Such a long distance they are taking the blood from heart to toes of our body. And the arteries are deeply placed in our body. Suppose in case of any injury, the blood loss will be prevented or minimized as they are deeply seated in our body. Now coming to the veins. The blood vessels which carry deoxygenated blood from all the body parts to heart are called veins. Except pulmonary vein, all other veins carry impure blood. Only the pulmonary vein carry oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. All other veins carry deoxygenated blood. And comparatively thin walls and large lumen is present. And valves are present in veins to prevent the backflow of the blood. And they are placed superficially. They are placed superficially in our body. And now coming to the difference between arteries and veins. Arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, whereas veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. The walls of the arteries are thick. The walls of the veins are thin. Arteries carry blood from heart to various body parts. Veins carry blood from various body parts to the heart. Valves are absent, valves are present. These are some differences between arteries and veins. Now coming to the capillaries. Blood capillaries are microscopic vessels made up of a single layer of cells. They allow diffusion of various substances. The arteries transport blood away from the heart and branch into smaller vessels forming arterioles. Arterioles distribute blood to capillaries, the sites of exchange with body tissue. Capillaries lead back to small vessels known as venules that flow into larger veins and eventually back to the heart. That means aorta or systemic artery divides into many arteries. arteries further divides into arterioles, the smaller vessels called arterioles, and arterioles further divide into capillaries, and capillaries exchange the substances like carbon dioxide, oxygen, nutrients, waste materials, whatever it is. They exchange the substances with the cells in the tissues. Then they join together as venules and then into veins and ultimately as superior and inferior vena cava. That's all about blood vessels. Now coming to the next topic, that is blood. Blood is a body fluid in humans and other animals that deliver necessary substances such as nutrients and oxygen to the cells and transport metabolic waste products away from those same cells. Blood consists of two components, that is cellular components and liquid component. What are the cellular components of the blood? The cellular components of the blood are RBC, that is erythrocytes, WBC, that is leukocytes, and platelets, thrombocytes. And the liquid component is plasma. RBC contain a red pigment called hemoglobin and it carries oxygen to all the cells. WBC are the part of the body's immune system. They fight against pathogens and foreign substances. And platelets help in clotting of blood, that is called coagulation. We will learn later in detail. And the liquid component of the blood is called plasma, which is of 55 of its volume. It is straw yellow in color. Plasma circulates dissolved nutrients such as glucose, amino acids and fatty acids and removes waste products such as carbon dioxide, urea and lactic acid. That's all about blood. Now let us study how we came to know about the structure and functions of blood vessels. William Harvey's work on circulation of blood. William Harvey was an Englishman who after became a doctor went to Italy for further education. Harvey dissected the hearts of dead people and studied the walls between each atrium and its ventricle. He noticed that they were one-way valves which allow blood from atrium to the ventricle but not from ventricle into atrium. He also noticed that the veins in the human body allows blood to flow towards heart. Harvey also identified that blood flows through the heart twice in human beings. Hence it is called double circulation. He also showed that it was impossible to form new blood in our body if our body used up the blood only one time. He proved that in 1 hour our body pumped out the quantity of blood that was equal to 3 times of the weight of the person. New blood could not be formed at such rapid rate. So, the same blood has to circulate and be used over and over again. Before Harvey, his teacher Girolamo Fabrizi has noticed the valves in the veins of legs. These valves allow the movement of blood in one direction only, that is towards the heart. If the blood moves in opposite direction, the valves will be closed. Because of these valves only, the movement of blood from the feet to heart, that is in the upward direction, that is also against the gravity, would be possible. And Dr. Harvey did not notice the capillaries. The capillaries were noticed by another scientist called Marcello Malpighi. He studied the blood vessels in the thin membranes of the wings of bats under microscope. He noticed that the smallest arteries and veins were connected by very fine blood vessels. He named these blood vessels as capillaries because they were as thin as the strand of hair. In Latin, capillaries means hair. So, he named these blood vessels as capillaries. So, the person who noticed the capillaries are Marcello Malpighi. That's all about the scientists who brought this concept into light. Let's have a quick summary. Today we studied about the blood vessels, blood, and the theories of Dr. William Harvey, Girolamo Fabrizi, and Marcello Malpighi. That's all for today. Meet you in our next session. Thank you.